Ladies and gentlemen, in life we meet countless people. Some walk with us for a moment, others for a season, and a few a lifetime. But there is one person we must never lose, no matter what life throws our way. That person is you. You might be wondering, why talk about you? It's because in the hustle of everyday life, in the chaos of our responsibilities, in the noise of the world, we often forget about the most important relationship, the one we have with ourselves. We live in a society that constantly demands our attention, our energy, our love, and our focus on everything and everyone else. From the moment we wake up, we're bombarded with expectations. You have to be this, do that, achieve this, be that. But we often forget that before we can be anything to anyone else, we must first be everything to ourselves. I've learned through both triumphs and heartaches that the key to surviving the toughest of times is not in the people around us, but in the strength that resides within. It's about looking in the mirror and saying, I'm still here. I'm still enough. We face challenges, we face heartbreaks, we face moments of despair. But in those moments, we have to remind ourselves that we've been through storms before and we've made it through stronger. We are resilient, we are warriors, and the only person we need to prove this to is ourselves. I want you to remember that there is no one else like you in this entire world. You are your own superhero. Don't wait for validation from others. Don't look for approval from people who don't understand your journey. Because when you lose yourself in trying to please everyone else, you lose the essence of who you are. Never let go of the person who keeps moving forward, even when the world stands still. Never lose the person who believes in their own strength. Even when it feels like the weight of the world is too much to bear. Never lose that voice inside you that whispers, you are capable, even when doubt screams louder. The most beautiful thing you can do for yourself is to fall in love with your own story. Your scars, your struggles, your victories, your failures, they are all part of your unique journey. Every twist and turn has shaped you into the incredible person you are today. So the next time you find yourself standing at the edge, unsure of the path ahead, remember to look within. The strength, the courage, the love you seek is already there. Never lose that person who is your constant companion, the one who will never give up on you. Because if you never lose you, you will always find the power to rise again. Stay true to yourself. Keep believing in your worth. And no matter what life brings, never lose the person who is the foundation of your entire existence. Self-love is often misunderstood, even romanticized in ways that make it seem like a fleeting feeling or something we can only indulge in when it's easy or convenient. But true self-love is not about indulgence or self-gratification. It's not about being self-centered or narcissistic. It is instead a deep-rooted recognition of your own worth, an acceptance of yourself at your most raw and vulnerable, and a commitment to care for and protect your own well-being, no matter the circumstances. In the hustle of life, we often forget the importance of nurturing ourselves. We're too busy giving our energy to others, whether it's to family, friends, colleagues, or societal expectations, that we sometimes neglect the very person we spend every second with, ourselves. This neglect doesn't always look like overt harm. It might be more subtle, like putting your own dreams aside to meet the needs of others, or failing to acknowledge your own achievements because you're so focused on someone else's. Self-love is not about being selfish, but it is about finding balance. It's about honoring the relationship you have with yourself before extending that love outward to others. True self-love is the foundation of strength. Without it, we can't truly stand in our own power. Think about it. How can you expect to build a strong relationship with anyone else if you don't first have a solid relationship with yourself? How can you be a pillar of support for those around you if you haven't taken the time to nourish your own mental, emotional, and physical health? The answer is simple. You can't. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Without self-love, we risk becoming hollow, disconnected from who we are, and dependent on others for validation and fulfillment. But with self-love, we can cultivate a sense of inner peace, resilience, and the confidence to face any challenge that comes our way. One of the most significant aspects of self-love is self-acceptance. We all have flaws, imperfections, and parts of ourselves that we struggle with. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that we need to change, fix, or hide those parts to be worthy of love. But true self-love is about accepting yourself as you are, flaws and all. It's about embracing the messy, the difficult, the imperfect parts of you and knowing that they don't define your worth. Your worth is not contingent on perfection. In fact, your worth exists precisely because you are not perfect. And that imperfection is what makes you human and relatable to others. The journey of self-acceptance is not always easy. It takes time, patience, and compassion. It requires us to confront our insecurities and heal past wounds. But when we accept ourselves, we free ourselves from the constant pressure of trying to meet external standards and expectations. We stop looking to others for approval because we no longer need it. Our worth is no longer defined by the opinions of others, but by the unconditional love and acceptance we have for ourselves. Self-love is also about setting boundaries. So often we think that self-love is just about being kind to ourselves. But part of being kind to ourselves is protecting our energy and our mental space. Boundaries are not walls, they are tools for self-preservation. When you love yourself, you know when to say no to things that drain you, whether it's people, situations, or commitments that don't serve your highest good. You recognize that your time and energy are precious, and you honor that by protecting them. Setting boundaries means choosing not to engage in situations that make you feel less than, or that ask too much of you without giving in return. It means respecting yourself enough to walk away from relationships that don't nourish you and don't honor your worth. A major aspect of self-love is forgiveness, both for ourselves and for others. We all make mistakes. We all have regrets. And at times, we may carry guilt or shame for things we've done or failed to do. But part of loving ourselves is learning to forgive those mistakes, is recognizing that they don't define us or determine our future. They are simply lessons that help us grow. Self-forgiveness is liberating because it allows us to release the emotional weight of the past and make space for healing and transformation. Without forgiveness, we become trapped in a cycle of self-criticism, self-blame, and self-doubt. Self-love means being gentle with ourselves, understanding that we are not perfect, and that making mistakes is part of being human. Forgiveness doesn't only apply to ourselves. Often we carry the weight of past wrongs from others, unhealed wounds, broken trust, betrayal, hurt. These are difficult to let go of, and in many ways they can affect our ability to love ourselves fully. But forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for us. When we forgive, we release the hold that anger, resentment, and hurt have on us. We stop allowing someone else's actions to dictate our emotional state. Self-love means choosing to free ourselves from the burdens of past wounds so that we can step into the present with an open heart. Self-love also involves taking care of our physical health. Our bodies are the vessels that carry us through life, and caring for them is a vital aspect of loving ourselves. This doesn't mean obsessing over appearance or conforming to society's standards of beauty. It means treating your body with the respect it deserves. It means feeding it with nourishing food, getting enough rest, staying active in ways that feel good to you, and listening to its needs. It's about prioritizing your well-being and recognizing that your body is a reflection of the love and respect you have for yourself. Mental and emotional health are equally important. In our fast-pacing, achievement-oriented world, it's easy to overlook the importance of mental self-care. But caring for our minds is just as essential as caring for our bodies. Self-love involves giving ourselves permission to rest, to unplug, and to be kind to our minds. It means not pushing ourselves too hard, not demanding perfection, and recognizing when we need support. It's okay to ask for help. It's not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength. Mental health is as important as physical health, and taking care of your mind is an essential aspect of loving yourself fully. Self-love requires us to practice gratitude. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we don't have or what we haven't achieved to what we already possess. It helps us appreciate the present moment and the blessings we often overlook. When we practice gratitude, we begin to see the value in who we are and what we've already accomplished. We stop comparing ourselves to others and start celebrating our own unique journey. Gratitude nurtures self-love because it helps us recognize that we are worthy of love, care, and happiness right now, just as we are. Sometimes, self-love means giving ourselves permission to dream. It means not holding ourselves back from the things we truly desire because we think we're not worthy of them or because we're afraid of failure. True self-love involves stepping into your power, owning your dreams, and believing that you are capable of achieving them. It's about refusing to let fear, doubt, or external criticism stand in the way of your potential. When you love yourself, you allow yourself to envision a future full of possibility and take the steps necessary to make those dreams a reality. But perhaps most importantly, self-love is about the inner dialogue we maintain with ourselves. Our thoughts have a powerful impact on how we view ourselves. If we constantly criticize, belittle, or undermine ourselves, it becomes difficult to truly love who we are. Self-love requires us to shift the narrative in our heads, to replace self-criticism with self-compassion, and to speak to ourselves with kindness and encouragement. It means being our own cheerleader, not our own harshest critics. Self-love is the quiet strength that sustains us when everything else feels uncertain, is the voice that says you are enough when doubt creeps in, is the belief that no matter the challenges we face, we have the ability to overcome them because we are worthy of success, happiness, and peace. Self-love is not a one-time act or a goal to achieve. It is a lifelong journey, a continuous process of nurturing, healing, and growing into the best version of ourselves. It is quite simply the key to living a fulfilled, resilient, and empowered life. Resilience comes from within, not from others. This is a truth that many of us overlook in our pursuit of happiness and success. We often search for external sources of strength, people, circumstances, or achievements that will give us the courage to keep going when times get tough. While external support is valuable, the real power to endure and thrive through life's challenges lies in our own hearts and minds. It's an internal force, cultivated through self-awareness and self-compassion, and the belief that we have the ability to overcome whatever obstacles come our way. We live in a world that frequently emphasizes the importance of external validation. From social media to professional achievements, we are often led to believe that our worth is determined by how others perceive us. We look to family, friends, colleagues, and even strangers for reassurance that we are on the right path, that we are doing enough, and that we are good enough. But the truth is that the moment we place our sense of self-worth in the hands of others, we give up our power. It's easy to rely on praise and approval to fuel our motivation, but when those things are taken away, we are left feeling hollow and vulnerable. Real resilience, however, doesn't rely on the opinions of others. It's a quiet strength that comes from within, an inner belief that we are capable of weathering life's storms, regardless of the external circumstances. It's about trusting ourselves, even when the road ahead is uncertain, and knowing that no matter what happens, we have the tools to cope, to heal, and to grow. There will always be times when life throws us unexpected challenges, loss, failure, disappointment, or personal setbacks. In those moments, it's easy to fall into despair and question our abilities. It's easy to feel like we've reached our limit, like we cannot go on. But resilience is not about never feeling down. It's about the ability to rise again after each fall. It's the courage to take one more step, even when it feels like the weight of the world is on our shoulders. And it's the realization that we are not defined by our circumstances or our failures, but by how we respond to them. The key to resilience lies in our mindset. Our thoughts shape our reality, and the way we perceive challenges can make all the difference. When we face adversity, we can either see it as an insurmountable obstacle or as an opportunity for growth. Resilient people don't deny the difficulty of their situation. Instead, they acknowledge it, accept it, and look for the lesson it holds. They choose to believe that every challenge they face is a chance to become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. This mindset doesn't come naturally for everyone. It takes practice to shift from a victim mentality to one of empowerment. But when we consciously decide to embrace resilience, we begin to see the world differently. We stop focusing on what we don't have or what we've lost, and we start focusing on what we can control. The choices we make, the actions we take, and the way we respond to our circumstances. Even in the darkest times, we can find small pockets of strength that help us keep moving forward. Another important aspect of resilience is self-compassion. When we're struggling, it's easy to be hard on ourselves. We criticize our mistakes, beat ourselves up for not being strong enough, or shame ourselves for not being able to cope better. But self-compassion is a vital ingredient for resilience. Being kind to ourselves, especially when things aren't going well, allows us to recover more quickly and avoid getting stuck in a negative cycle. When we give ourselves permission to feel vulnerable, to be imperfect, and to make mistakes, we free ourselves from the weight of unrealistic expectations. We give ourselves the grace to heal and grow, which is essential for bouncing back from adversity. Resilience also involves the ability to adapt. Life is constantly changing, and the ability to adapt to new circumstances is a crucial component of inner strength. Instead of resisting change or clinging to what is familiar, resilient individuals understand that change is inevitable and that they have the capacity to adjust. Whether it's adjusting to a new job, a new relationship, or a new chapter in life, resilience allows us to embrace change as an opportunity to evolve. We learn to let go of the need for control and to trust in our ability to navigate whatever comes our way. At times, resilience can also mean reaching out for support. While true resilience comes from within, it doesn't mean we have to face everything alone. In fact, asking for help when we need it is an act of strength, not weakness. Resilient people know when to lean on others for guidance, encouragement, or comfort. They understand that vulnerability doesn't diminish their strength. It enhances it. Connecting with others who understand our struggles can provide us with the emotional support we need to rebuild and move forward. The essence of resilience is rooted in our capacity to endure and grow through adversity rather than merely survive it. It's about believing that even in our most difficult moments, there is an opportunity for growth. It's the unwavering belief that we are capable of transforming our pain into power, our setbacks into comebacks. Resilience is the quiet strength that allows us to remain steadfast in the face of adversity, to rise each time we fall, and to emerge from every trial stronger and more determined than before. The most beautiful thing about resilience is that it's not a trait we are born with. It's a skill that can be developed over time. The more we practice resilience, the stronger it becomes. And as we build our inner strength, we begin to understand that we are never truly helpless. We always have the power to shape our response to life's challenges, and that power lies within us. It's in our hearts, our minds, and our spirits. And when we tap into that power, There is nothing we cannot overcome. Staying true to your unique journey, scars and all, is perhaps one of the most important commitments you can make to yourself. In a world that often promotes conformity, it's easy to get lost in the noise, to compare yourself to others and to feel like your path isn't good enough. But the truth is, your journey is yours alone, and it is this very uniqueness that gives your life meaning and depth. Every step, every triumph, every setback, and every scar tells the story of who you are and what you've overcome. And it's precisely these experiences that shape you into the person you are meant to be. One of the greatest pressures many of us face is the pressure to fit in, to measure up to others, or to meet the expectations of society, family, or peers. We live in a world where social media often showcases an idealized version of life, one where success is constantly flaunted and imperfections are hidden. In this environment, it's easy to forget that real growth comes from embracing who we are, flaws and all. Our uniqueness, our mistakes, our imperfections, and even our scars are what make us human. They are what make our journey real and authentic. It's important to remember that your journey does not have to look like anyone else's. Too often we find ourselves trapped in the comparison game, measuring our success, happiness, and progress against someone else's timeline. We look at the achievements of others and wonder why we haven't reached the same milestones or accomplished the same things. But the truth is, every person's life is a different story. The roads we take, the decisions we make, and the challenges we face are all unique to us. Just because someone else's path looks different doesn't mean yours is any less valuable or important. Your journey is not a race, it is a story of growth, resilience, and transformation. And it's only by staying true to your own path that you can experience the fullness of your potential. One of the most profound aspects of embracing your unique journey is recognizing the value in your scars, both physical and emotional. We all have scars, some visible, some hidden deep within. These scars often come from painful experiences, losses, or moments of hardship. In a society that tends to prize perfection, these scars may seem like a source of shame, but in reality, they are a testament to your strength, resilience, and ability to heal. Each scar tells a story of survival, of overcoming adversity, and of choosing to keep going despite the pain. The more we learn to accept and love our scars, the more we reclaim our power. They become symbols of our growth, reminders of how far we've come, and proof that we are capable of enduring even the toughest challenges. Staying true to your journey means honoring those scars and using them as tools for self-reflection and growth. It's about looking at your past and acknowledging the lessons you've learned, the wisdom you've gained, and the person you've become because of those experiences. Too often we try to erase or forget our painful memories, believing that doing so will make us stronger or more deserving of happiness. But in reality, it is through those struggles that we find our greatest strength. It is through the darkest moments that we discover the depth of our resilience and the richness of our character. It is also important to remember that your journey will not always be smooth or linear. Life is full of twists and turns, ups and downs, and moments of uncertainty. There will be times when you feel lost, when you question your decisions, or when you wonder if you're on the right path. These moments of doubt are a natural part of the human experience, but they do not define you or your journey. It is during these moments that staying true to yourself becomes even more crucial. Trusting yourself, even when the road ahead is unclear, is the key to navigating life's uncertainties. When you stay connected to your values, your passions, and your purpose, you are better equipped to face whatever challenges come your way. At times, staying true to your journey may also mean walking away from things that no longer serve you, whether it's a relationship, a job, or a situation that drains your energy or stifles your growth. It's easy to stay in familiar situations out of fear of change or uncertainty, but staying true to yourself often requires making difficult decisions. It requires having the courage to let go of what no longer aligns with your values or your sense of self. Walking away is not a sign of failure, it is a sign of strength. It is a declaration that you are committed to honoring your unique path, even if it means facing discomfort or uncertainty. As you continue on your journey, it is important to remember that growth is not always about achievement or success in the traditional sense. Sometimes, growth comes from simply being true to who you are in the face of adversity. It comes from choosing authenticity over perfection and embracing the journey, not just the destination. The moments of struggle, failure, and doubt are just as important as the moments of success, because they are the ones that teach us the most about ourselves. Staying true to your unique journey also means embracing your individuality, your quirks, your passions, and your dreams. It means pursuing the things that light you up, even if they don't make sense to others or don't fit into society's expectations. Your dreams and desires are valid, and they are yours for a reason. The more you honor those inner calls, the more you connect with the essence of who you are. And the more you allow yourself to follow your own path, the more you inspire others to do the same. Staying true to your unique journey is about finding peace within yourself. It is about understanding that you are enough just as you are, and that your journey is meaningful regardless of how it compares to anyone else's. By accepting and loving yourself, scars and all, you give yourself the freedom to live authentically, to pursue your passions without fear, and to face life's challenges with confidence. The path may not always be easy, but it will always be yours. And it is in staying true to it that you will find your greatest strength and your greatest peace. Don't seek validation. Believe in your own worth. This concept is vital for anyone striving to live a fulfilling, authentic life. In a world that constantly seeks external approval and applause, learning to validate yourself, to believe in your inherent worth, without needing someone else's affirmation, becomes one of the most empowering acts you can commit to. The truth is that the foundation of confidence, self-assurance, and personal fulfillment comes from within. So, no matter how much we search for validation from others, it will never provide the deep sense of fulfillment that comes from knowing and believing in our own value. From a young age, we are often taught to look outside of ourselves for approval, whether it's through grades, awards, social media likes, or the opinions of our friends and family. We grow accustomed to seeking external validation as a measure of our success, our worth, and our significance. While it's natural to want recognition and appreciation for our efforts, when we become overly reliant on these external markers, we risk losing touch with who we truly are. When our self-worth is tied to what others think of us, we place ourselves in a vulnerable position, constantly dependent on someone else's approval to feel good about ourselves. This is an exhausting cycle that can lead to feelings of inadequacy, anxiety, and a diminished sense of self-esteem. The power of believing in your own worth lies in the fact that it is unshakable. When you truly know and value yourself, the opinions of others, whether positive or negative, become secondary. You no longer need to seek external validation because you already recognize that your worth is inherent, not based on what you achieve, how you look, or how others perceive you. This sense of inner knowing provides the freedom to pursue your goals, dreams, and desires without constantly questioning your worthiness. When you trust your own judgment and value yourself for who you are, not for what others think of you, you give yourself permission to live authentically. Believing in your own worth also means embracing your uniqueness. So often we look to others for validation because we want to fit in, to belong, and to be accepted. But the truth is, your uniqueness is what makes you valuable. No one else has your experiences, your perspective, your talents, or your potential. You are a one-of-a-kind individual, and your value does not depend on comparing yourself to others or seeking approval from them. The more you acknowledge and embrace your individuality, the more you realize that your worth is not subject to comparison. You are enough, just as you are. It is important to understand that self-concentration doesn't mean ignoring constructive feedback or refusing to grow. It simply means that your sense of self-worth is not based on the approval or disapproval of others. You can listen to feedback, learn from it, and improve yourself without allowing it to affect your core belief in your own value. This is a crucial distinction. Seeking validation means looking for someone else to tell you that you are worthy, while self-validation means knowing deep down that you are valuable, regardless of external opinions. When you believe in your own worth, you stop tolerating mistreatment or settling for less than you deserve. Too many people accept unhealthy relationships, unfulfilling jobs, or negative environments because they don't believe they are worthy of something better. When your self-worth is rooted in your own belief in yourself, you set boundaries that honor and respect who you are. You don't stay in situations that diminish you or hold you back because you know that you're worthy of love, respect, and opportunities that allow you to thrive. This belief empowers you to make decisions that are in alignment with your values and what you deserve, not based on the fear of rejection or the need for external validation. The journey towards self-empowerment begins with self-awareness. It starts with looking inward and acknowledging your strengths, your accomplishments, and your potential. Too often, we focus on our shortcomings, our perceived failures, or the things we haven't achieved yet. But when we focus on our strength and what we have already accomplished, we begin to see the truth. We are enough. The more you recognize and celebrate your abilities, the more you start to build a sense of self-assurance that does not rely on others. Over time, this awareness grows into an unshakable belief that you are worthy of success, love, and happiness, no matter what others may think. Believing in your worth also requires letting go of the fear of judgment. When you constantly seek validation, you are often paralyzed by the fear of being judged or criticized. You worry about how others will perceive you, whether you will measure up to their expectations, or whether they will approve of your choices. But the truth is, no matter what you do, there will always be someone who disagrees, criticizes, or judges. The key to finding peace is to release the need for everyone's approval. Once you realize that you cannot control how others see you, you free yourself from the weight of their judgment and the need to live up to their standards. This doesn't mean you don't care about others. It simply means that their opinions no longer determine your self-worth. A big part of believing in your own worth is practicing self-compassion. It's easy to be harsh on ourselves when we make mistakes or fall short of our goals. But treating ourselves with kindness and understanding, especially during times of failure, helps reinforce the belief that we are still worthy of love and success, even when we fall short. Instead of berating yourself for not being perfect, practice self-compassion by treating yourself with the same care and understanding you would offer a friend in the same situation. This practice strengthens your belief that your value is not contingent on perfection, but on your humanity. Don't seek validation from others, because the most important approval you need is your own. When you believe in your own worth, you give yourself permission to follow your passions, to take risks, and to live authentically. You no longer need to fit into a mold or measure up to someone else's standards. You create your own definition of success and happiness, and you live according to that. You trust your judgment, respect your boundaries, and know that you are worthy of all the good things life has to offer. By internalizing this truth, you unlock the freedom to live your life fully without fear or hesitation. Never lose sight of the person who keeps moving forward. Life can be unpredictable, and there will inevitably be times when we feel discouraged, lost, or uncertain about the path ahead. During these moments, it's easy to lose sight of who we are, of our strength, and of the person we've worked hard to become. But no matter how challenging life may get, there is a part of you that has always kept going, and that part of you is the key to your growth and resilience. It's the part of you that refuses to be defined by failure or setback. The part of you that has learned how to rise again, no matter how many times it has fallen. The journey through life is rarely a straight path. We face obstacles, unexpected turns, and moments of doubt. It's natural to feel discouraged at times. We look at the road ahead and wonder if we have the strength to continue, especially when the weight of our challenges feels unbearable. But even in those moments of vulnerability, there is always a part of us that keeps moving forward, whether we realize it or not. It may be a small voice inside that whispers, "Keep going," or the quiet determination to get up each time we fall. It's easy to overlook this persistence, but it's the very thing that keeps us alive, keeps us growing, and keeps us moving closer to who we are meant to become. One of the most powerful things we can do for ourselves is to acknowledge this inner strength and never lose sight of it. It's easy to be distracted by the noise of the world, the opinions of others, the pressure to succeed, or the expectations placed on us by society. But when we focus on the person who keeps moving forward, we reconnect with our core strength. We remind ourselves that no matter how difficult the circumstances, we have always found a way to keep going. This awareness can be a source of incredible power and motivation, allowing us to face each day with a renewed sense of purpose and resolve. The person who keeps moving forward is not someone who has never encountered hardship or failure. On the contrary, they are the ones who have faced adversity and risen from it. They are the ones who understand that setbacks are a natural part of life and that they do not define who we are. Rather than letting challenges stop them, they use those experiences to fuel their growth. They understand that each setback is an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to become stronger. This mindset is what allows them to keep moving forward, even when the path seems unclear or impossible. The key to maintaining this forward momentum is to stay connected to our deeper sense of purpose and vision. We all have dreams, goals, and aspirations that drive us, but there will be moments when those dreams feel distant or unattainable. When this happens, it's easy to lose faith in ourselves or our ability to make those dreams a reality. However, it's important to remember that the person who keeps moving forward is the one who believes in their vision even when the evidence doesn't immediately support it. They understand that the road to success is rarely linear, and that every step, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. Sometimes moving forward means making difficult decisions. It might mean letting go of people, places, or situations that no longer serve us. It might mean taking risks or stepping outside of our comfort zones. The person who keeps moving forward understands that growth requires change, and that holding on to the familiar can sometimes hold us back. They know that in order to move forward, they must be willing to release what is no longer working, even if it's hard. This courage to let go of the past, to embrace uncertainty, and to trust in the future is what propels them forward. At times, moving forward can also mean slowing down. In a world that values speed and constant achievement, it can be easy to feel like we have to keep pushing ourselves relentlessly. But the person who keeps moving forward understands the importance of rest, reflection, and self-care. They know that taking time to recharge, to reflect on their journey, and to nurture their well-being is essential for long-term progress. By allowing themselves the space to rest and heal, they are able to continue moving forward with renewed energy and clarity. One of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves is to trust in the process of growth. The person who keeps moving forward is not necessarily the one with all the answers, nor are they always certain of the outcome. They may have doubts, they may face failures, and they may question their path at times. But what sets them apart is their ability to trust that progress is being made, even if they can't always see it. They understand that growth often happens in the quiet, unseen moments, and that every small step contributes to the bigger picture. This trust in the process allows them to keep going, even when the end goal feels out of reach. At times, we may question whether the journey is worth it. We might wonder if we are making a difference or if our efforts are leading us towards something meaningful. The person who keeps moving forward knows that the answer is yes, even when the results are not immediately visible, even when the rewards seem distant. They continue to put one foot in front of the other. They know that every step forward is a step toward their own growth, and that the act of moving forward is, in itself, an achievement. The person who keeps moving forward is not invincible. They experience fear, doubt, and frustration just like anyone else. But what makes them different is their ability to acknowledge these feelings without letting them dictate their actions. They don't let fear paralyze them, and they don't let doubt define them.